This scene is using a single light as its illumination source, and it has shadows turned on. If I were to just pull back a bit, I have a grid here which has just been manipulated into a specific shape, and this now can be used as a light source. If I were to select my light here and have a look, in the area light tab now I can actually pick the object and I can start moving it around independently of my original piece of geometry here. When I hide it, I don't see it there, but it still will render. If I were to just draw a render region here, actually I'll just do it down here so we can see around the tires the kind of soft shadows that we're getting. Well, another way of doing soft shadows rather than using an area light, which can be costly, especially when I'll just look at low samples here, is to go into the ray trace soft shadow settings now. We can just pop up the softness here, and again I have reasonably low sample settings, so we can see the effect that gives us without having to use area lights to try and get the shadow effect in the right place. Inside the scene, if I grab my light again and update the render tree, we have a whole load of new shaders. It's like 170 new mental ray shaders, a whole load of new utility shaders, MIA, MIP, MISSS. I'm just going to highlight a couple of them here. So I'm using the soft light shader, and if I now use the photometric light shader, let's actually go to another viewport. Oh, I'm going to go into the close cam here. We're going to have a look at what this is going to give us. So inside the shader, here I'm using a isotropic. Now I can also drop to things like use an IES profile. So if you're used to using this, we now support that. Perhaps the settings are a little too bright up here. And you can go and grab from any website a huge number of openly available IES light settings. So a whole new architecture for shaders has been introduced, and this is also to do shader authoring. If I right click on here and do edit shader, you can see that it's the .mi shader, and I can go directly in here and do my shader authoring directly inside Softimage, save the file, and will automatically build the UI. So this means that there are no extra tools to build UI. You can have it like a single DLL which hosts renderers as well as shaders, and just simply drop it in and it's going to work. And this is why we've managed to expose so many hundreds of new shaders. This is going to be great for real-time shaders as well, because you don't have to build any UI code or spittle. So I'll just put the soft light shader back in, and let's go back to our wide cam. So it's still quite dark here underneath the bike. What I'm now going to do is go and get a new type of light, which is called a flat light. So I'll do a bigger render region. Now a flat light is the equivalent of an ambient light. That's probably a little bit too much there. And you can see really how well it pops out. I'm just going to store a region there and then turn this one off, and then just show the difference. So this was before and after. So one light really makes a great difference, where everything can really pop out. Now all of these lights have a flat light mode, and it changes the area light to user. Now if I go to another pass, say this shadow pass, I'm going to select the background objects here. So here's another shader, which is just a matte shadow. If I open this one up, you can see again this is all being dynamically built from the original shader definition. Now if I go to the bottom here, you can see that there's something called a light list. Now currently I've got one light picked. If I go and pick, say, the flat light, well, everything disappears because it's not a shadow caster. So here we're now dealing with light lists. So this is something else which is new. I'm now going to go to another pass, which is what I'm calling a classic pass. So this is, a nice classic bike here, and one of the shaders is a lens shader on the camera. So inside my cameras here, I'm going to go to my wide camera, update the render tree, and here we have the exposure photographic. It's actually kind of cool. One of the nice ones here, so a whole lot of settings to play around with. One of my favorites is actually the vignetting, to get that real old classic look. So just a huge number of shaders now available to really help any production. So in Mental Ray 2011 there's an overall improvement in the BSP2, but for Softimage we also have obviously the new shader authoring environment, as well as a whole load of new lighting tools, as well as the shader library themselves, now available directly inside the preset manager here. One final thing, if we go to the pass options, we could now render as many cameras as we like in one pass, and it's going to all use the same settings for that pass. So instead of having to create a new path just for in each camera, we can do it directly in one pass now. Enjoy.